We've received 3 patients, 2 adults, and 1 person under 18 years of age. I know that 1 adult, and you said that it was a male, is in our operating room undergoing surgery at this time. 1 patient has been admitted to the hospital. I think that was the person under 18, and the other person is in our emergency room being evaluated and treated. It's heartbreaking. Our hearts go out to Santa Fe, the students and the residents.
Saying to myself, what's it going to feel like to get hit by a bullet?
My buddy got shot 3 times in the chest.
He actually put his finger in the hole. But I just got a message my buddy is going to be okay. So, I mean,
The guy who got hit 3 times is going to be okay?
Yeah.
I think I've been shot in the head. It went along my skull and came out about 3 inches later.
So where did it go?
It came right in the back, right in the center of my head, and it came out about 3 inches later along my skull.
It went in through the back of my head, just right, like kind of in the middle of the back of my head, and then came out right here.
What did doctors tell you about that injury?
They told me that this was the perfect scenario for getting hit in the head. Just the odds are very slim.
What was going through your head when you found out that this was going on?
Get to the school. Make America great again.
By doing what? What was your plan of action?
Offering support. God bless you all. We'll go a long ways right now for a lot of people. Thank you. I'm going to head this way. God bless you all.
But this idiot is walking down here and saying that he needs to make America great again. That's not what America needs. America needs prayers. We don't need this crap.
I mean, I was going through a lot. I was like, why should they die? Because they're a lot younger than me. You know what I mean? Like, I've lived a decent life. I'm middle-aged. These are young girls, so.
I had come into school, I just gotten off the bus, and I was about to go put my things in my locker. I have a bottom locker, and I heard a loud pop, and I turned around, and I saw him, and he was just going, and he was completely passive, and he was just shooting, and he shot 1 young man.
And I heard really loud booms, and I didn't know what they were at first. And then I realized what they were when I heard screaming. And I got up and I ran, and we went on to the stage, and we hid backstage. Then the alarm started going off, and we stayed there for a while.
We didn't know where the shooter was. We thought he was just going to jump the fence and come in that room and shoot us all. So I didn't know whether that was the right decision. So I'm thinking, am I going to die, like, in this room?
And then he shot the girl next to me, and she fell down, and as everyone was running, I could just hear her screaming, "Help me," and she was screaming, help me," over and over, and I just stayed down, and like maybe a minute or so passed, and I looked back up, and the hallway was empty, and my legs were all dusty from where I shot the ceiling, and the girl next to me, she was bleeding. She'd been shot in the back, and I looked to my left, and there was the boy he had shot. I looked to my right, and there down the hall there was another boy, someone I assumed that was shot.
As soon as I heard the shots, I called my mom, and she came down to get me, and she was waiting outside for me, and it helped a lot to have her on there to keep me calm.
What did you tell her?
I told her, Mom, there are gunshots. I heard 4 shots, and it was it was real. It was real this time. It wasn't real last time.
They were all crying on the ground. I was trying to be calm.
It was just very scary, very surreal, and I couldn't believe what was happening. I thought, well, not my school, surely. I had gotten on the bus, and I sat down with my friend, and we were laughing. A boy behind me was telling jokes and stuff, and the boy in front of me, he was laughing, telling jokes, and he rides my bus. I've talked to him before, and then I didn't think that in 30 minutes, so that he would be dead, because it was the same boy who shot that was riding my bus, and I'd seen him, he was laughing, he was a regular person, and 30 minutes later he had passed. It was horrifying. He was rather outgoing. I think he got an award in acting before, and I didn't think at all.
Was there a part of you that was like, this isn't real, this would not happen in my school?
No, there wasn't.
Why so?
It's been happening everywhere. I've always kind of felt like eventually it was going to happen here too.
At that point, I went from, man, I'm going to die like the Orlando shooting in this room. That's what I first thought. It was like, pick your poison. It's like, what do we do? I run straight?
We're going to run
Brian,
into the roof.
We're going to hold you over for the commercial break. We're right back.
16-year-old Rome Schubert survived being shot in the head this morning.
It came in this way through the back of my head and then exited right there. Just think I'm probably about the luckiest guy alive right now.
Lawrence, I just talked to Rome's mom. She's an ICU nurse. She finds out her son has been shot in the head. She knows what the statistics are. She knows how desperate the situation might be, and she's driving there, and you can just imagine what's going through her head. And yet, here he is, Rome Schubert, on his front porch tonight.
Yeah, well, the first one, I was like, I really didn't know what the first one was. Second one goes off. Now I wasn't sure what that one was, and I peeked a little bit, saw a pistol in his hand.
You actually saw the gun?
I did. I saw a pistol in his hand, and once I was on the ground, I saw the pistol, charcoal gray pistol, and then I did notice a shotgun on his shoulder.
Let's go back to that moment. When did you realize you're in art class, it's the first period of the day, when did you realize something was very wrong?
Normal day as it started out, and then loud bang, my ear starts ringing, another loud bang follows that one. And peeked around, some more loud bangs, and I was kind of freaking out at that point. And look over at the door, and I guess he had walked out for a little while. And I ran out the door, jumped over a wall, started running into the parking lot. Had no idea I was even shot until I looked down at my shirt and dripping blood everywhere. I was running fine, I was talking, had no idea that it even went in and out.
Are you surprised by that?
I'm definitely surprised, because I was just checking on my friend, and he said, I'm all right, you go, you go. I had no idea that he ended up having been shot in the leg. But when a friend comes up to me, I said, I got a lot of blood. You think somebody got hit in front of me? He was like, no, you got shot. You got shot in the head. There's a lot of blood coming from your neck. So I immediately took my shirt off, put it against my neck, and held that pressure to it, and just took off running.
That's the son of an ICU nurse who knew what to do.
And he was struck in the back of the head, miraculously survived. The bullet exited from his neck. Rome, why don't you just show our viewers? I want people, because I know there's a lot of people who don't believe that you're telling the truth. The bullet came in the back of his neck right here.
The bullet came in here, right here.
Yeah.
The bullet came in there, and it went.
And you can see the exit wound.
There's the exit wound.
Right there, and he was able to get up and run out. Didn't know that he'd even been struck, and you jumped over a wall, correct?
Yeah, about a 7-foot wall, and I got about 100, 200 feet away from the art room, and I saw some blood on me. No idea I had even been shot. Somebody came up behind me and said, "You've been shot," and I thought it was somebody else's blood. Still hadn't even felt it. I was running, and I looked down, noticed a little blood on my shirt, thought it was somebody else's, and somebody had told me that I actually had been shot in the back of the head.
And you didn't feel it?
I did not feel it.
You had this, you were shot in the back of the head, but you went out and played a baseball game on Saturday. And Rome, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling really good, just a little sore.
Yeah, I see you with the Band-Aid.
Yes, sir.
Band-Aid on your neck.
Lawrence, I just talked to Rome's mom. She's an ICU nurse. She finds out her son has been shot in the head. She knows what the statistics are. She knows.
Did you think that this could happen here?
Sadly, I did.
Really? What makes you say that?
Because I feel like it's a pattern with these shootings, and nothing has changed after each one of them.
Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris killed 13 people and injured 24 others before turning the guns on themselves.
April 20th, I was inside the school having lunch with a student when the shooting began, so there is some level of firsthand experience that I've had.
One of the people who ran from the school that day, State Rep Kevin Parker of Spokane, a youth life leader at the time. He was having lunch with a student in the cafeteria when Klebold and Harris began the massacre.
And then I saw a man in a black tactical helmet with a dark shaded helmet on, and he had a pistol in his hand. And we exchanged gunfire. And we exchanged, I'm like, it was surreal to me. It couldn't couldn't be happening. I could not believe it.
Driving off.
Driving
and
off.
where was Johnny in all of this?
He was at, see that stop sign right over there?
Right.
He was parked right there through the whole thing.
No, sir, I didn't particularly see anybody get shot. They were just shooting at each other. I can't verify any hits.
And the drill went off, and we all thought it was a fire drill. So we started getting out, and then I heard some shots, and everybody started running. It was a really scary situation. We didn't really know what was going on. I thought it was a drill at first, but...
Last year, yes, I was in the middle of the Fort Lauderdale airport shooting, and so when he texted me on lockdown, he told me that there was a drill going on, a shooting drill, and I thought, that's, really interesting because I didn't know that they did drills with students.
A plan is what helped art teacher Annika Dean survive this shooting at the Fort Lauderdale airport.
Because I had been through 2 active killer trainings at Broward Public Schools, and so I knew what it sounded like. I was standing in baggage claim. I couldn't have left. I couldn't have evacuated the doors because I would have been right in his path.
We probably won't be entering a plea early on, either guilty or not guilty. We generally don't do that in Galveston County. After a bond hearing or in connection with a bond hearing, we got to start the discovery process. This kind of investigation takes a long time, so discovery won't be a one-time, hey, here's everything we have. It's going to be months of, here's what, we got this, here it is, etc.
As I was going down the stairs, I heard a couple shots fired. Everyone was freaking out, saying that it was a gun. And as we were walking, the whole class together, I actually was speaking to the suspect, Nicholas Cruz. And as I was speaking to him...
And then I suddenly saw the shooter about 20 feet from me, standing at the end of the hallway, actively shooting down the hallway, just a barrage of bullets. And I'm staring at him thinking, why is the police here? This is strange, because he's in full metal garb, helmet, face mask, bulletproof armor, shooting this rifle that I've never seen before.
Now, one student told me that the shooter was wearing a bulletproof vest and a helmet. Did you see that?
I saw some other kid. When the other kid who came into the classroom, he was wearing some type of thing, and I don't know.
Nicholas, I think we spell his name Nikolas Cruz, was the killer. He is in custody, and we've already began to dissect his websites and the things that social media that he was on, and some of the things that have come to mind are very, very disturbing.
I want to be clear to the court and to the state. This office and this defendant is prepared today and every day thereafter to plead guilty to 34 consecutive life sentences. We are prepared to do it today.
That perfectly clear.
Well, we're making it really clear right now.
Okay,
again.
that's not what we're here for. Let's move on.
That's unusual.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. How could you defend such person? Blah, blah, blah.
So how could you defend such person?
That's my job. Everybody deserves a defense. I'm amazed that anybody that made it through 7th grade civics doesn't know that.
You were walking down the hall. He had already fired at that time.
Yes, sir, with him.
Weren't you scared?
In the moment I wasn't, because there was definitely another shooter involved, but...
Oh, you think he was not the only one?
No, definitely not.
Why do you say that?
Because when shots were fired, I saw him after the fact. So, and the shots were coming from the other part of the building. So there definitely had to be 2 shooters involved, I believe.
That's the first I've heard of that.
Do you think there was more than one shooter?
There's 3 shooters right here. Definitely.
Nicholas, I think we spell his name Nikolas Cruz, was the killer. He is in custody, and we've already began to dissect his websites and the things that social media that he was on, and some of the things that have come to mind are very, very disturbing.
I want to be clear to the court and to the state. This office and this defendant is prepared today and every day thereafter to plead guilty to 34 consecutive life sentences. We are prepared to do it today.
That perfectly clear.
Well, we're making it really clear right now.
Okay,
again.
that's not what we're here for. Let's move on.
That's unusual.
I was going to ask about